Would you
Yeah.
agree?
I'm sure a lot of prime ministers have lost their job because they've been advised
Yeah.
by their colleagues.
Yeah, I
One
think
more.
so.
Yeah. Come
So,
on.
so
Yeah.
I'll just contribute to that. So we had on a much smaller scale had a challenge with a board and paid an absolute fortune for crisis advisors, and their advice was to step down from the board in that particular instance. And it was again the worst mistake. The challenge is you never know what's good advice and what's bad advice. And part of ideally having a good board or good people around you is to get a mixture of ideas and opinions so that you can kind of go with what makes the most sense to you. But especially when you're really under the pump and under a lot of pressure, it's very difficult to know which is the right advice to
But
take.
when I was under a huge amount of pressure, I was advised to bring in a special PR company. My PR company resigned, and I was told that I need one of these companies who deal with disasters, and they just dealt with the BP oil slick and that sort of stuff. And they advised me not to speak to the press. And they would deal with it. They would come between, they'd protect me. That was the worst advice ever because I was always had a reputation with the press that I was accessible, available, and they liked that. And suddenly, and they said, when you were doing well, you were very happy to speak to us. Now you're not. You're not. And that actually antagonized the press even
Yeah.
more. So that advice from supposedly expert people in that field was the worst possible advice I could have.